It's Lauren, and we're doing a video, and there's a dog in a window. All right, everybody, what's up? It's Lauren.
John.
We're hot for food, of course, and we're making a little breakfast for ourselves this morning, so we thought we'd try something a little different for this week's video. And well, John's basically gonna make breakfast, I'm just gonna talk. While we're doing this, I thought we could run down our kitchen equipment and utensils, like some of the essential stuff that we use that you've probably seen in all of our videos, and you ask us questions, but now we'll have one consolidated video that tells you kind of what we use and then little tips and tricks for how to use those things. Well, let's start with your knives, since you're cutting. Actually, a lot of people do ask us what kind of knives we use.
I don't think they're anything fancy or special. Actually, my favorite knife I got from
IKEA.
A Swedish store.
Oh,
this
yeah,
guy.
this knife, you've seen it a lot. A lot of people ask us what knife that is. It's just from IKEA.
It's so sharp though, it's so good.
You will have seen us cutting many things like peppers and vegan sausages.
It's super sharp. There's no gimmicks, no grooves.
Well, what are these grooves for? Do you actually know? These grooves are for cheese?
Not for cheese, but things like cheese, squashes that are like very dense, and as you're going through, you know, you kind of create a section on a knife, you can't get stuff off.
You know something I don't know.
Cool.
These are Hampton Forge.
That's mine, sorry. That's
okay, I have Hampton Forge, and he had Paderno. I don't think these are anything fancy. You can go to any kitchen store, Home Sense, wherever, if you live in Canada, Marshall's, Target, whatever, and you can probably find these knives in the kitchen area. Now, you know, this is for sharpening knives, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But I've never really done it. We don't really do that.
For something like knives that we use all the time, I might take it to a knife sharpening place, because they'll do it probably for 10 bucks. They're not gonna mess up your knives like you might.
Now I will say this, we sometimes make this mistake and we really shouldn't. We put these in the dishwasher and we shouldn't, because they sit in the dishwasher with food stuck on them and they rust, so we should just stop doing that right now.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a chopping block like this, because then you have all your knives handy, ready to go on the counter, as opposed to in a drawer randomly, where maybe they'll get dinged and stuff and rub against other utensils. Okay, so that's generally knives. Oh, well, before you start cooking in this pan, this is a good pan to show. This pan is a ceramic coated thing, like it's like green friendly non-stick. It's not Teflon. We did have one Teflon pan that was yours from IKEA that we were using a lot because it was easy.
It's so non-sticky.
I know, but I don't like Teflon. I don't really know, just bad stuff about Teflon. Like when you heat Teflon, all that chemical goes into the food and into the air, and apparently it's really bad for you. That's all I really know. At Home Sense, where we live in Canada, we can just go and get these pans for pretty cheap, like 25 bucks, that are green safe coating for non-stick. So we have this one that we just got, which I quite like. It's nice to have non-stick and cast iron. We have cast iron, which you've seen in videos, or we bake our cinnamon buns in them because they look nice, but also cast iron will last you your whole life if you buy a good cast iron.
It's actually my mom's, isn't it? Or grandma's?
And mine is also from my mom. If we need non-stick for quick stuff, we cook like our veggie chicken, our veggie meat, usually in a non-stick because it's easier.
And this is gonna be a quick cleanup, so we're gonna do our
It's so easy to clean. You're just like, it's done. Cast iron, you gotta soak. Never put soap in your cast iron. This is actually a good little tool. You've seen me zest lemon zest and lime zest on, or ginger. I've grated with it before. It is a rasp. This one's from Lee Valley, or a Microplane. You may see it called a Microplane. It's very handy. And it's sharp as hell. Having a couple of whisks is a good idea. Whisking is a difference between, you know, a spoon, because this puts air into something. Plus, it helps mix it better than a spoon, really, I guess.
Yeah, if you got something really fine, like when we do like our coconut bacon or something like that, like all the little fine powders of the smoked paprika, like when you have a spice.
The whisk helps get it.
A whisk is gonna get that. A fork or a spoon is not gonna get all those little granulars mixed in there.
We've talked about these, I think, in our taco video.
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri, is that the taco video? One, I don't know, some video we talk about these lemon and lime squeezers. These are my favorite tools, and once I saw them on...
I thought I was your favorite tool.
You are one of my favorite tools. He always had these tools, and I went and found them at Winners. So, Winners Home Sense. As you can, this is not sponsored, but we do go to Home Sense and Winners a lot because you get everything discounted. You get all these great kitchen things at a cheaper price. That's also where I buy a lot of the dishes you see in photographs, as well as the dollar store. I get some dishes at the dollar store. And the rest of our dishes are really just from IKEA. Since food blogging, I've accumulated a lot more dishes and proppy type stuff. This whole cupboard here is just plates and bowls and things, and they've all been used in photographs on Hot for Food and videos. So I'm eating an English muffin with some vegan cream cheese. Well, I'll probably eat some of that too.
Yeah.
What are you making, John?
Tofu scramble. We're gonna saute some mushrooms, kale as usual. We've made this tofu scramble probably 1,000 times, but if you're curious of how we make ours, there's a recipe on the blog and we've got a video for it as well.
So the thing we probably do most on Hot for Food is blend stuff, and we do use a Vitamix. I wish Vitamix would sponsor a video, but they like to give away Vitamixes, which is a nice thing. We did receive a Vitamix. We used to have two. I gave one to my friend. I bought one when I first went vegan, January 1st, 2010. Best thing I ever bought. So if you're hesitating, you should buy one. Or you know what? That being said, there are also like the Ninja, the Blendtec. They're all generally the same.
That's the big difference. There's blender and then there's high power blender. High power blender is going to be the thing that blends your ices, your hard nuts, your cashews.
It really emulsifies it at a higher speed, so you're getting creamy, thick, you're putting air into it. Plus, yeah, that's the only way you can really blend cashews, because I know people have been doing them in NutriBullets and in regular blenders, and they get their cashew sour cream, but it's like chunky. You've seen us blend in the big canister. Recently, we did the smoothies in that. It's good for banana ice cream. It's good for like larger volume soups, purees, whatnot, in this big canister, which is the new Vitamix we just received, which has this big canister on top. And it's great. However, my original Vitamix had this thin canister. It's amazing. The volume's the same, it's just the shape of the canister that actually has been making all the difference, because I did give away my base to my friend and she went and bought one of these online. But I said, I have to keep my base. I have to keep my canister, because this canister is so narrow at the bottom that it actually works for most of the stuff we make, like our dressings and our sauces.
Small batches.
Because we're only making, 3 cups max of anything. Or even if we're doing a 1 cup down here, the blade is so close to everything that it works. Whereas this one, if I tried to do a dressing in this, it just spits it all to the side and it doesn't work. If you're gonna buy one, try to get this long canister, because it works better, because you can also do 8 cups of stuff in here and do banana ice cream and do all the ice, but you can also do the small batch dressings and sauces. I sound like I'm on the shopping channel, but honestly, this is important information. I only say this really in the detailed recipe on the blog, but a lot of the time I'm in there pushing stuff down while it's blending and doing this. This is the most important tool for these high-powered blenders. The sword, once I called it a sword, that's the new name for it.
Perfect.
Your blending sword.
So when do you use a high-speed blender versus a food processor then?
Good question. So here's our food processor. It is a processor or processor?
Processor.
I don't know. I say both. Okay, it's a KitchenAid. It was about $60. It's not the greatest, but it does the job.
It can hear you, don't be mean.
Well, I'm just saying. So this does things like, the date nut crust for the cheesecake. I just did the sausage filling for the sausage rolls in it. I don't think John's ever used the food processor in his life. But there is a difference. Let me try and explain this the best. Basically, if you want to liquefy something, you want to do it in the blender. But if you don't want to liquefy, you can still liquefy. You can make a pesto in this. You can make a walnut pesto, but you're still gonna have like little chunks of walnuts in there, like little tiny pieces. We made falafels in here because it just gets it to like a flour dough-like consistency. Or same with the sausage, it's more of a dough-like consistency. The blender doesn't get that because it's too, the blade's just at the bottom and it needs liquid to sort of push and pull up and down into the blade. This is more of an even spin. And with a food processor, if you really are lazy and you don't want to cut stuff, you can put the slicing blade on and you can slice tomatoes and onions and stuff, which I've never done. Sometimes I like to process onions in there just so I don't have to cut them. If I'm doing a big soup or something and I'm doing 2 onions first, then I chop them up in here.
Essentially, it replaces
mincing. This is a mincer.
It replaces a knife and a super precise person chopping everything the exact same size.
Like our crab cake recipe, we do that all by hand. But you could food process the artichoke and the onion and celery into like the crab cake stuff, the artichoke cake stuff.
It'd help it keep together more.
It would. I mean, but you know, in that case, and again, why did we not do that? I don't know. On the day, I think I was just like, cut it up. Because sometimes I don't like, you know, taking this out and doing the whole thing. But you could do the crab cakes in this.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, but some people don't know that stuff. That's why they're asking. Now, do you get a food processor or a blender?
Whoa.
I think you need both. If you're gonna cook, if you're gonna be, you know, hot for food, you would want both.
You need both. We're like the people in the infomercial when like they're trying to sell you a certain blender or something that does everything all in one, and you're the person in the kitchen with all the appliances that's like, and like
sick
spilling.
Of all your appliances? Oh, it's falling all over the place. It's true, it is like that. That's because there really is no such thing as the tool that does everything. Anyway, that's enough of that. We also have a soda stream. That's all we use though. Food processor and blender is really the only things. Oh, a hand mixer. I've done, you know, coconut whipping that and certain cookie, that's for baking. There's an immersion blender and a hand mixer. Do you guys know the difference? We have both. They're both pretty inexpensive. Immersion blender is for like blending soup, you know, in a pot. You just go like this with the stick. I don't think we've ever used that in a video. And the hand mixer has the attachments with the beaters. You don't need an immersion blender. If you want to blend your soup, you put it in your high-powered blender. But the immersion blender is only $20, and then you don't have to pour your soup into the blender and back into the pot. You can just blend it in the pot. So that's why it is handy. If you're into food blogging, and I'm sure you might already know this, we've talked about this on my channel, but it's buried somewhere in a vlog. It's nice now that we have white counters because we have a nice clean backdrop a lot of the time, and we have white walls, which is nice. So we take a lot of photos over here by the door. But when you see a lot of those videos where just our hands are coming in and out and it's on wood or on like white, we are using individual slabs of tile that we got at the hardware store.
So we have white tiles, we have gray, dark slate, and then we've got like some wood backdrops. And
the wood backdrop, actually, we just went to a reclaimed wood store, like a dealer who has pieces of barn wood. And for $50, I got that big slab. It's kind of the white gray one. It's really cool. $50, you might think that's expensive, but I've used it like so much, it doesn't matter. It's like $1 a time I use it, right?
What I think is cool is we have these little dollar store containers with the clear lid at the top for spices. So when you open up our drawer with all of our spices, you don't have to rummage through bags. Well, these are extras.
We do have some in bags.
But the ones we use often are just in these containers, so you can look by the top, by the color, you're like, okay, turmeric, paprika, garlic powder, just by the colors on top.
But we're nerds, and we also have a label maker, and we put labels on them. Because you can't really tell between garlic and onion. Do you need a label maker? No.
You should get one, they're great.
Well, there you have it, our hot for food kitchen essentials.
And utensils.
Exactly, I think we pretty much covered it all. There's nothing else I can think of. And that's some good resources and information for you, but if you still have some more questions, leave them in the comments below. I usually check a lot of that and can reply back to y'all.
Totally. Sorry we're not doing a recipe this week. It's more of an informative video, but you're getting a smoothie this week too, so that's a recipe. This is extra. Enjoy. And we'll be back next Wednesday with another video.
Yep, and go to my channel, youtube.com/LaurenToyota, because I do a lot of vegan food stuff over there too. And you can see our cat Snickles more.
He's an essential utensil. Or is he?
He's a blog essential. Everyone loves him.
That's true.
He's not here right now. He had a date today.